Hey guys, it's Riley, and today we're going to be talking about a whole week of Poshmark sales after the fee change and comparing them to a week of sales from last month before the fee change. So first, yes, I'm in a different background. I'm dog sitting, and unfortunately I got my first cold of the season, so I'm not feeling great, and my brain is working not at 100%, so I'm hoping all my numbers are correct. Yesterday, I stuck a plate of food in the microwave, but it didn't have food on it. It was just a plate, and I was like, I need to go lay down. So luckily I'm not feeling awful, but I'm not feeling 100%. So I did happen to write 2023 a few times on my note sheet, but other than that, I think all my numbers are good. You may be asking yourself, if you're new to my channel, why are you qualified to be talking about Poshmark fee changes? Well, friend, I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark. I make my almost entire income selling on just Poshmark, and that's just because I don't want to sell elsewhere. I really liked only selling on Poshmark, and it worked for me. And when they announced their fee structure change, I was frustrated, not surprised. I knew when people were like, oh, Poshmark's talking about changing their fees, I knew it wasn't going to be a good thing. I'm like, they're going to mess it up. Like, they've messed up everything else, and they did. And well, that was like my initial opinion, but today we're going to review some numbers and see if my initial opinion was correct. Even after looking at my numbers before telling you guys, I'm still frustrated. I think it was a terrible idea that they changed their fee structure. I'm not going to explain it because if you're watching this video, you probably already know that. It's impossible to explain. They basically got rid of the 20% and made it something stupid, like a $1, $2, $3 scale plus 5.99% for both seller and buyer. It's just ridiculous. So that's my opinion. And it makes me not want to shop on their platform. And I'm going to be real, I listed a lot less in the last week than I normally would have, because I was like, should I be investing my time into Poshmark right now? Should I be doing something else? And now we're going to look at the numbers and see what they say. So how this is going to work. We're going to compare October 3rd through the 9th, which the 3rd is the day they made the fee change. And we're going to compare that week of October to September 3rd through the 9th, 2024. And I'm just comparing these 2 weeks because it made sense in my brain to compare the same week of the 2 most recent months. From October 3rd to the 9th this month, I sold 31 items, and one of those sales was a 3 bundle item. So I sold 31 items, but less sales because one was a bundle. And then in September 2024, from the 3rd to the 9th, I sold 28 items. None of those were bundles. So technically I had the same amount of purchases. I just sold a few more items in October. So my gross sales this past week in October were $831. That's lower than I want it to be, but I wasn't surprised with the new fee structure. Whereas in September of the same week, my gross was $799, also lower than I wanted it to be at the time. So in October, after their new fees, in my bank account went $706.08. And previously, if I had sold the same amount of gross sales, what would have gone into my bank account after their flat 20% was, although I'm just realizing this isn't 100% correct because I probably had some sales under $15, which then was like the $2 whatever dollar fee. So I'm realizing my numbers are not 100% perfect, but they're gonna be pretty close. If everything sold above $15, what would have gone into my bank account from the gross of $831 would have been $664.80. I did make more than I would have if it sold with the previous fee structure. But that is not a surprise. That's not the reason sellers are upset. It's because we don't want Poshmark to charge buyers a fee to shop on the platform. Now, I know a lot of other platforms are going this way. and even apparently eBay UK is testing out charging buyers a fee. I still don't like it. I still think you should not be charging buyers a fee to buy on your platform. That is why we have seller fees. And in my opinion, Poshmark did not do this change to benefit the buyers or the sellers, like especially not the buyers. And I don't even think the sellers were like on their mind when they made this change, in my opinion. My opinion with no solid facts to back it up. I think since they became a publicly traded company, they're trying to get their revenue up and they're like, how do we make more money? Oh, let's charge people to promote their listings. That was a flop. So now we got to do something else. You know what? Let's reorganize this fee structure and make it look appealing to sellers, but screw our buyers over in the process. That I don't know who thought that was a good idea at Poshmark. They're just, in my opinion, trying to make more money. I don't think anyone can really argue with that and say that it's a good idea to charge buyers a fee to buy. I mean, if you have an argument for it, let me know. Maybe it makes sense in some world. So let's get back to September, compare those numbers to September. So as I said, in October, I grossed $831. And then in September of the same dates, the 3rd to the 9th, I grossed $799. So it's like close, but slightly less. And the 20% taken out of that, again, not 100% perfect because I had probably a few sales under 15, but flat 20% would have been $639.20. I've redone this clip 3 times because every time my sick brain says it wrong, but I got it this time. And I did not calculate what that would have been with this new fee structure because, again, it's confusing. It's based off the final total value, and that depends on each person's individual state tax and the value of the sale. It's just ridiculously stupid. Also, I don't like that we don't have access to see what the fee breaks out to, you know, like, and the new sales, when you click it, it just says $25 sale minus your Poshmark fee gives you this earnings. And I'm like, okay, but was this a sale you took $1 from me from? How much was that? 5.6% of the total order value? Like, I just wish we had those numbers. Also, oh my God, taxes is going to be a nightmare. I have not talked to my tax person about this yet. My grandma is my tax person. I don't even know. I have to, before I start doing October numbers, I'm going to have to talk to her. This is going to be a nightmare. So, one thing that is a benefit towards the end of the year is like this Posh Pass shipping thing they're trying to do. So right now, if you're a Posh ambassador, you get a banner across your closet that says everything from the seller has $5 and whatever cent shipping. I will say on the first day, the 3rd, when they changed the fee structure, I had the most sales. I think I had like 7 sales. And my theory is that casual Poshmark users, buyers, had not yet realized the fee structure changed, and they just saw that I had discounted shipping. So they went in and bought stuff and didn't realize they were paying more in fees, and they just saw the discount shipping. That's just my theory. I don't know that, but I will say after that first day, sales were like, felt like they were down. They felt like it felt like I was not getting a decent amount of sales. And some days even came close to a $0 sales day, which is really rare for me. I have over 2,000 items listed in my Poshmark closet. This whole entire 2024, I've had maybe like 3 $0 days. And so coming close multiple times this month for someone to come in at like 11 p.m. and buy something, I mean, it was definitely notable. But so back to this Posh Pass thing, one thing to note is that nothing I sold in October had discounted shipping. I still have my offers to likers set to offer discounted shipping, but I'm not paying for it. So since I have that discount on my closet, someone will get my offer and they'll see that I'm offering discounted shipping. So I feel like it entices them if they don't know that I have that discounted shipping on my closet from Poshmark. I saved money by not having to pay for discounted shipping, whereas in September, I had 5 things sell with discounted shipping, and that cost me $10.10 of my earnings. So in October, what I walked away with into my bank account before my cost of goods and other reseller expenses, just into my bank account from Poshmark, went $706.80. Whereas in September, I walked away with $629.10. Now, what I actually did was get my average profit before cost of goods from each piece. So in October, my average profit was $22.80 per piece. I guess it's more like, it's not really the profit, so let's not call it a profit. And in September, it was $22.49. So crazy close. I did not expect that. That was actually a major surprise because that tells me that this fee structure has not really changed much, which is insane. That the numbers tell me that, unless, I mean, it did something wrong. It was literally like I made a little bit more in October. Now, my thoughts. First of all, Poshmark sold this as, this is good for everybody. I don't know why. And sellers are making more. But I will say on the smaller dollar sales, you're not making more. In September, I sold an item for $15 and I got my $12 earnings. In October, I sold an item for $15 and I got $11.66. So no, it's not majorly different, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to reevaluate my small dollar sales because people are going to be paying more in fees to buy those small dollar items. And I'm going to be making less because of Poshmark's new fee structure thing, which is kind of crazy. So that's one thing that's crossed my mind. I'm still upset as a buyer, especially. I was planning to buy a House of CB dress on Poshmark, and it's probably going to cost me over $100. The day the fee structures came out on Poshmark, I did the math. It was going to cost me that day to buy full price $181. And if I waited for the fee structure change and purchased the exact same dress full price, it was going to cost me $196 and some change. So as a buyer, I'm frustrated and I'm definitely going to be exploring other avenues before just turning to Poshmark to shop. And that's something you have to think about as a seller. If you're selling really high dollar things, designer things that are going to cost people hundreds and hundreds of dollars, they're going to pay a lot in fees to Poshmark, and I think that's going to be a deterrent. And if you're selling low dollar things, I think it's going to be a deterrent because somebody's going to be like, they see the $15 price, they're like, cool, and then they have to pay the shipping, which right now, at least in my closet, is discounted, but still $6 is a decent amount for shipping. And then they're going to see those fees, which I can't even tell you what the fees are. It's like, okay, so $6 shipping, $21 plus it's a 20, so is that a $2 plus $2 plus 6% basically of whatever? Like, does that add up to be like $3-4 for that person? So I think if you're selling mid-tier items, like anything from maybe like 30, like not even 30, like if someone's willing to spend like $40-50 to maybe $150 on an item, I think they're going to be caring less about the fees. But I did have someone ask me, I literally had someone ask me, do you sell on another platform? Because Poshmark just changed their fee structure and I have to pay fees now. And I was like, no, sorry, I only sell on Poshmark, which is when it's good to sell on other platforms. I'm not saying it's not good to sell on other platforms. I'm just saying I don't want to sell on other platforms. So I've been reevaluating my business a little bit. For a while, I've thought about doing wholesale, and I actually did sell my first wholesale box this week, and I'm going to be talking more about that next week. I'm still listing on Poshmark. Honestly, my numbers tell me to keep listing on Poshmark with literally it coming out to less than a 40-cent difference. I mean, people are still buying. I've still had sales. Here's the thing though. One other thing to note, I was expecting October to be much better than September. It's just historically one of the best months in my reselling business, and it's disappointing to see that it's the same as September when I was expecting it to be much better. So, do I think the fees have affected my sales? I'm gonna say yes, because I really was expecting October to just skyrocket, and it hasn't. I am hoping that the buyers get used to the fees after a little while and it's just an annoyance and they're still gonna shop. I think that's what's gonna happen to me. I'm probably gonna end up buying that expensive dress on Poshmark and paying fees because I'm comfortable shopping on Poshmark. I don't really wanna have to experiment shopping on another platform. and I still don't want to pay retail. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, people are just going to turn to retail. Well, if I buy that dress full price for $196, it's still going to save me over $100. So do I think people are just going to turn to retail to buy new things? Not necessarily. Those are all the numbers I calculated. Again, recap, I was surprised to see in the end my numbers were pretty equal, with October being $22.80 per item and September being $22.47 per item. I mean, I'm glad to see that things haven't taken a dip. I'm really sorry if your sales have taken a dip. I was expecting mine to take a dip. And I'm bummed to see that October is not going to be the month that I thought it was going to be as of this moment. For myself, I'm not going to start cross-listing anywhere. I'm just experimenting with different income avenues for reselling. If you haven't cross-posted before and you're interested in it, I would say go for it. But if you're not interested in it, think about, is this an income you rely on? Then maybe it's something you have to do to make more money. If it's a hobby, then it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but like you're not relying on the income. So if you just are comfortable selling on Poshmark and you don't want to cross list, then don't cross list. Let me know down below, how have your sales been? Have you calculated this out? It might be interesting to see how your numbers really look after you do all the calculations. Sorry again, my brain is not 100% with this cold, but I actually do feel a little bit better talking to you guys. So I'm gonna go make some mac and cheese and still be sad about this Poshmark fee change, but I think we'll all get used to it, and I don't think Poshmark is going to go back to the 20% anytime soon, because they never fixed promoted closets, so why would they fix this? All right, guys, that's all from me for today. Definitely keep your eyes peeled for the series I'm going to be doing on my channel next week if I get over this cold, which I hope I will. I still have time. So that is all from me for today, and I will see you guys in another video soon. Goodbye.